Hi everybody, thanks for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.com. Today's project is this very pretty little gift box, which is decorated using a stamp set from the Paisleys and Poseys stamp set and one of the matching die cuts there. This is actually a little magnet fastener, and if you lift it up you can see there's this little hidden beautiful little hidden lip inside, so that the lid closes flush like that, nice and flush, and just has a little extra detail when you open it up. And as I said, that little magnet just helps it clip. I love that. You know, there's something satisfying about opening boxes with magnets, isn't it? And I just think this would make a really lovely gift box as we come up to Christmas. I'm actually going to, I know what I'm going to use this for. I'm not going to spoil the surprise because this video is probably going to go out before I give the gift, but I think it's a really beautiful gift box. I do have a bit of a croaky voice today. I've been suffering with a cold for too long, but hopefully it will hold out for the video. It's not getting any worse, it's just not getting any better, it's just lingering very annoyingly. So stop babbling and get on and show you exactly how I made it. Okay, so we're going to start with some stamping using Paisleys and Poseys, which is a really lovely set. You've probably seen me use it quite a bit now. We're actually going to use one of the very smallest stamps in this set, which is this little sort of flamey flower effect here. So I've just mounted that up on a clear block, smallest clear block we have, clear block A. We're going to use some Wisteria Wonder ink. And we're going to start with a strip of cardstock. This measures 1 inch. By 10 3/4 of an inch, by 10 3/4 of an inch long. And I'm just going to take my ink pad and I'm just going to use the stamp to randomly make a pattern all along the length of my cardstock. So I'm just going to turn the stamp around every so often, and I'm going to do that along the entire length of the card. Now, just to save some time, I've already done it. There we have it. And I'm going to put that to one side. And I'm also going to use a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This measures just a little bit less than 6 3/4 of an inch. So, you know, just probably a 1/16 of an inch or a millimetre shorter in both dimensions. So it's 6 3/4 by 6 3/4 of an inch, and a little bit less. All of the dimensions, as always, will be on my blog. And what I've done here, I nearly forgot to show you, was on each side, about 2 inches in from either end, I've just stamped a little sort of 2 rows of stamps on 4 sides, because these are the bits that we're going to see when we fold it up, and those are the bits we want stamping on. So now we've done that, we can start doing some scoring. So let's start with this piece as I have it here. And what we're going to do is just score this at 2 inches on all 4 sides. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Put that to one side, and now I have some Wisteria Wonder cardstock. This measures 11.5 inches by 7 3/4 of an inch. As I said, all dimensions are on my blog. We're going to start by scoring it along the long side at 2 3/4 of an inch, at 5.5 inches, at 8 1/4 inches, and at 11 inches. Oh, just off the page a little bit. There we go, 11 inches. Turn that 90 degrees, so we have the 7 3/4 inch side along the top, and we're going to score it at 2 3/4 of an inch again. Then we're going to score it at 4 1/4 inches and at 5 inches. Okay, that is all of our scoring done, so let's put that away for now. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to crisp up all those creases that we have just made. Okay, then we can do this one. There we go. quite a big piece of cardstock, so just take your time to fold all of those creases nicely. Okay, and then we'll start doing some cutting. So here are my scissors, and the first thing we're going to do is at the end where we have sort of a 1/2 inch tab, we are going to cut up the first score line and cut off that large rectangle there. And we're going to cut the same rectangle effectively off at the other side. Okay, just like that. So you will be left with 2 scored pieces at this end. Then we are going to cut up each of these score lines up to the 2.5 inch point on this side. Okay. There you go. Turn it round and do the same on the other side. Okay. See, that's going to fold up sort of like this. Now we want to keep these 2 tabs here whole, so this is the second one from this little tab here. But on the other 3, what we are going to do is we're going to notch them out and cut them in half approximately. It is quite a big bit of cardstock. It's a little bit unhandy to do this. There we go. And last one here. Okay, turn it round this way and this way. Okay, and our last one, which is the one closest to this little tab, you can do that one too. Okay. Okay, now this is where we're going to get a little bit different, and you're going to be, what are you doing? But bear with me, okay? So what we're going to do is this middle score line here, we're going to cut up this score line all the way so we just leave this last one whole, but we're going to effectively cut the whole box in half along that line there. So you want to take your time doing this with scissors, or if you want to, you can use your trimmer to get it really perfectly straight, but you do want to get the line as neat and straight as you can, because this is going to be sort of the edge that you do see when the box is made up. Okay, so we cut that in half. Let me just lie that down so you can see what we have done and see that if yours looks similar. So now we're going to start building this box up. And these 2 little flat bits at the edge here are going to get some fuse along them. Oh, if I can roll the fuse on. Okay, so keep that closed up, and we're going to fold this over just like that. And then just make sure you line up your 2 parts of the box with their relevant flaps. I'm just going to flip this one over, do it the other way, it makes it a little bit easier. There we go. And when you open it up, you can see that is then going to be your hinge. You can kind of see how that is going to come together. Now we're going to fold in all these 3 flaps like that, and I'm just going to put tumble now across this box here. Oh, this is all tumble, hopefully you're going to get some coming out. There we go. Make sure you put tumble right to the edges. And just take a second to stick that down, okay? And because we left that particular panel whole, you can see at the front, so this is going to be the front of the box, we've got a nice neat edge there, and the join is at the back. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to do exactly the same with our lid. So fold those pieces in. If you want, you can just put a little bit along the edges of this flap here, and just make sure you get a really nice neat finish. And then of course lots on the large whole piece. There we go. And just again fold that down and take a second just to fold that up nice and square. Okay, so you can see our box is starting to come together. The next thing we need to do is reuse our Whisper White piece that we stamped already. And again, we're just going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. There we go. Okay. And this is a very simple box construction. So we are going to snip up here, turn it 90 degrees and snip up the next side, turn it 90 degrees, snip up again and up 90 degrees and snip up for the last time. And because you are going to see this bit when you open your box, we want to make it like as neat as possible. So on the top we just sort of notched out randomly. Here we're going to notch out but just a tiny little slither. Okay, and this will help keep that professional look, but it will also help it look really neat inside when you open the box. So just very slither off each of those ends. Okay, and then we are going to pop a little bit of tumble on the back of each of these flaps, like that. There we go. And let us fold this up. Just like this. You've seen me make boxes like this. Oh, was I off camera there? Apologies. Just slide those up into place, just like that. Okay. Then hopefully, this is the bit that I always am a bit nervous about. This should then, and it does, fit perfectly inside a box. That's a nice liner. And the lid folds down on top of it, just like that. Okay, just going to pull that out, and I'm just going to put a little bit of tumble on the inside of the box on all four sides, and that will just help us to hold that liner piece inside so it doesn't fall out. It should be a tight enough fit that it won't really fall out very easily on its own, but it's always nice just to secure it with that little bit of tumble. Okay, and we can see there that our lid fastens over nicely like that. Okay, and now to decorate it and give it that lovely closure, we're going to bring in again our piece of Whisper White 1-inch strip that we have already stamped, and I just need to grab my magnets. I forgot to get them out, so I'm just going to stand up, and where did I put them? Here they are. Put them out of the reach of the children and then forgot to get them down. So these are nano craft magnets that I'm sure you have seen me use many times before. They are incredibly strong, but they are also incredibly thin, so they're about 1 millimeter thick. If you are looking to buy some of these, if you Google or look on eBay nano craft magnets, you will find several suppliers popping up there. Okay, so what we are going to do is just close our box up, hide away that little secret lining, which I think is just a nice little surprise when you open the box, as I said. And I'm going to take a glue dot. Now, glue dots, where have you gone? Oh, I had everything to hand a second ago, but brought out some sequins with them. Okay, here are the glue dots. Let us start by putting a glue dot on the back of one of my magnets, and I'm just going to position that in the center of the box, just doing it by eye. The center of the box, just below where my cardstock meets the nicely stamped cardstock, just there. Okay. Then I'm going to take my piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to start by lining it up in the middle with the edge of the box there, I'm just going to take it down. I'm just going to do this by pinching. So I'm going to pinch that there. Then I'm going to close up my box, take it round to the other side, and pinch again, just there, over the top, and pinch again, and then down the front and pinch it again. Okay, and just check that those line up, and they should do. See, just like that, perfectly. So take off your little strip, and I'm just going to use my bone folder to sharpen up those creases that I made, those pinch creases that we made. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to put some tumble on the back of this, and I'm just going to go to the edge but not put any on the very last flap. So that's the flap that's going to come over the top at the front, so don't put any glue on there to begin with. And then I am just going to start by popping that over my magnet in the centre and wrapping it around my box. Have I done this the wrong way around? I have. Oh no, disaster. I put the glue on the wrong bit. So don't do what I said. Make sure you remember which bit is your end. So this is the bit that needs to go over the magnet. So just pretend I haven't put glue on that flap, and that's what you should do. Okay, oops. Oh, never mind. So there we go. You can see that lines up nicely as it should. I got my ends the wrong way around. Close up your box and over the top. And you hopefully will not have glue on this strap, so you can just make sure that they line up really perfectly. There we go. Okay, so just give that glue a minute to dry, and just make sure you stuck it down on either side of the magnet. Okay, and on the back of your box where it's going to hinge, just make sure that you've got that stuck down nicely. Okay, final embellishment. We are going to use a gorgeous die from the corresponding Paisley framelets, which match the stamp set lovely. I've already run it through the Big Shot. You can see this is the die. So I'm just going to use my Big Shot brush to pop that out. I know a lot of you have already bought this stamp set and die. It is a really lovely, versatile stamp set. And as you can see, you know, some of the patterns are quite subtle. Are we coming out? Come on. There we go. Pops out beautifully using the die brush. So I'll just pop that to one side. How pretty. How pretty is that? I think it really reminds me of sort of earrings. Not sure about you. Then I have a scrap of Wisteria Wonder cardstock and also a scrap of Whisper White. And I have two hole punches. One is 1 3/8 of an inch and one is 1 1/12 of an inch. So we're going to do the 1 1/2 inches. Where would 1 1/12 come from? 1 1/2 inches in our Wisteria Wonder. Okay, there it is. And then the 1 3/8 in Whisper White. Okay. And then we are going to layer this up. So what we have, you know, we put a bit of glue on the back of there. And what we want to do is position that sort of centrally, but remembering where that magnet is. What I'm going to do is take a magnet, and this is going to snap on to our magnet there. I'm going to put a glue dot on top. There we go. So that magnet is in place. Okay, just close up your box and then position this disc on top of that magnet, just like that. So the glue that will now be stuck to that disc because of the glue dot. And there we go. Just going to take another disc of Whisper White, and I'm just going to stick that over the back just to hide that magnet. So a bit of tumble on there. There we go. My voice seems to be holding up. That is positive at least, isn't it? So let's just give that a second to stick into position. Bring that closed and then pop that on there like that. There we go. And then this is where we can now apply our glue to the back of this strip, the lower part of this strip. Hopefully that my tumble has dried enough that it's not going to stick onto the top of my box. And just stick that down. Then I'll whisper white circle on top of this. Oh. Just layering that up so it's slightly offset against the exterior window one. There we go. And the last thing to do is to, oh, it's not very central, let me just, there we go. And then our wisteria window die cut, just going to pop a little bit of tumble. You could use the fine glue tip for this, whatever you feel works best for these intricate dies, use that technique. There are lots out there. I sort of swing between using tumble and the fine glue pen. And then that is just going to stick like that in the middle. And there we have it. Our box is beautifully finished and it opens, as I said, with that gorgeous clasp. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to buy any Stampin' Up products, please pop over to my blog craftycarolinecreates.com, where you'll see all the measurements and you can shop online for Stampin' Up 24/7. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.